If you notice these 5 signs, your struggles are about to end. They say that the night is darkest before the dawn, but only those who have walked through the storm understand this truth. Struggle is not a curse. It is the forge in which we are shaped. Yet, there are moments when the fire begins to fade, when the chains begin to loosen. If you see these signs, know that your trials are close to ending, not because the world has grown kinder, but because you have grown stronger. 1. You stop needing pity. In the early days of pain, we crave sympathy. We want someone to see our wounds, to acknowledge our suffering. But a silent shift happens when we no longer seek the audience's applause for our endurance. We no longer need the comfort of poor you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't waste the rest of your time here worrying about what others think of you. It will keep you from doing anything useful." When we stop measuring our worth through the eyes of others, we begin to measure it by the strength of our own soul. That is when the struggle loses its power over you, because you are no longer fighting for validation, but for victory within yourself. 2. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" The weak man sees hardship as punishment, the strong man sees it as training. The moment you stop cursing the storm and start navigating it, you have already taken the first step toward the shore. Epictetus reminded us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The why keeps you chained to the past. The what now forces you to act in the present. And the present is where every chain is broken. When you adopt this mindset, your struggle's end is not a distant dream. It's already begun, because the power it once had over your mind has been shattered. Get exclusive content and deeper insights. Join our membership today. Link in the description. 3. You feel gratitude for the very struggles that once crushed you. There comes a turning point in every battle where you look back at the wounds, the sleepless nights, the betrayals, and you no longer see them as curses. You see them as teachers. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." When you can look at the hardship that almost destroyed you and say, "Thank you," you have already won. Because gratitude is the final proof that the pain no longer owns you. It is a strange transformation. The very weight that once broke your back now becomes the stone upon which you stand taller. The world will still test you, but the tests will no longer feel like threats. They will feel like opportunities. And when you reach this state, the end of the struggle is not merely near, it is already behind you. 4. You no longer fear losing what you cannot control. The chains of suffering are often forged from our desperate grip on things we were never meant to hold forever. People, possessions, titles, comfort. The moment you accept, fully and without bitterness, that these can be taken from you at any time, you step into a realm of unshakable freedom. Epictetus warned, "When you are attached to something beyond your control, you make yourself a slave." When you no longer tremble at the thought of loss, the enemy has no weapon sharp enough to wound you. The storms may come, but they can only take what your soul no longer clings to. This is not cold detachment, it is the highest form of power, because when nothing outside you defines your peace, your struggles lose their grip, and the world loses its power to bend you. That is the sign the end of your suffering is near, when you can stand in the ruins of what you once held dear and still smile. 5. You begin to see meaning in the pain. There comes a turning point in every true struggle, a moment when the suffering no longer feels like a punishment, but like a forge. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and instead begin to ask, "What is this shaping me into?" Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When this truth takes root in your mind, pain transforms from an enemy into an instructor. You start to see that every wound has carved deeper resilience into your character, every loss has cleared the path to something purer, and every betrayal has stripped away illusions you once clung to. The struggle no longer owns you, it serves you, and when pain becomes fuel instead of chains, you are no longer waiting for your struggles to end, because you realize they already have. We must remember, ending struggle is not about the world becoming easier, it's about us becoming unshakable. When we change, the world changes, not in its nature, but in its power to harm us. And when that happens, our suffering doesn't just fade, it bows before us.